Hi everyone, this is Memento G. So I know this is kind of late, but today I'm going to talk about who should pull for Yufine and who shouldn't. This is an important question for me as well because I personally was not sure whether I should pull for her, so I made a checklist and I hope this helps. So first of all, for those of you who should pull. Now if you think you need a damage-oriented Earth DPS, I recommend you pull for her. But if you have Charles or Lilibeth, I think they can replace the role. Second of all, if you want the DPS with self-utility kits attached, she's an okay choice because she has a stun, a dispelling all buffs effect, and she also has a silence, a AoE, and she gives herself increased attack and speed buffs. And she can also decrease defense. She also has Death Break, which basically gives her almost all of the kits needed for DPS. Now, another reason for you to pull for Yufine would be if you really like dragons. I mean, Alencia and Luna will be happy to have her in the fold. So, I mean, unless you fit those criterias, I wouldn't really pull for her. Now, to be more specific, I'll tell you who should not pull for Yufine. Now, if you want to use her for PvE, I highly urge you not to pull for her. I don't think she has any specific advantage over other DPS or sub DPSs in the game right now. So she's more of a PvP oriented character. So again, for PvE, I wouldn't pull for her. Now, if you think she can one-shot SSB in PvP or RTA, I wouldn't recommend it as well. Some people have the illusion that she can play that role. But again, in regular PvP or RTA, usually these days Seaside Bellonas come very tanky, over 14k HP, and they also have a lot of formidable debuffs. So for example, they come with DN, they have Maid Chloe, so they have a lot of supportive units that soak up the damage or protect her with a lot of buffs. So despite her toolkit, which provides her extra damage with buffs on the enemy, it's not easy to one-shot SSB. And because of her long cool turns, 4, even with the reduced cooldown, it's still 3 turns, and here it's still 4 turns. So after her first S3 and S2, she's basically silent for at least 1 or 2 turns. And if you have her on DPS, which you would need her to be on if you want to use her to one-shot a water element character, she probably will be killed by Charles, even SSB herself, and a lot of other characters out there. So again, if you are under the illusion that she'll be a nice SSB counter in RTA, I don't think that's a good idea. Lilibeth probably will do a better job. Charles will do the job more stably in a more reliable manner. Yufine is probably not the way to go. Also, if you don't have a reliable CR pusher or a good knight or buffer to protect her from prolonged battles in RTA, I wouldn't pull for her. Now this makes using her particularly difficult because, as we all probably know by now, in RTA we don't get the picks we want. It's highly controlled, there's a lot of RNG in there. So overall, to use her, you need good supportive backgrounds. She could probably, for those reasons, be used in GVG or regular PvP, but in RTA, I wouldn't go for her. I wouldn't recommend her that much. Again, unless you really want her. So I looked into that checklist one by one. The checklist of who should pull and the checklist of who should not pull. And basically it turned out that I don't need to pull for her at all. And I provide this checklist for you to see and reference if you're wondering specifically why you should pull for her. Because I know there's a lot of reviews on her on how she could be good on how she can be effective. But again, a lot of characters can be effective. A lot of characters can be good. And I think you need a bit more specific applications on when to use her or not, or when to pool or invest in her or not. So those are the checklists I used, and I hope they're helpful. So again, I have concluded that despite her being a useful and no doubt formidable character in the game, I don't need her as she is. So I hope this helps. Memento G out.
리카노님, 손님, 아니, 방문자가 왔어. 리카노님, 손님, 아니, 방문자가 왔어.
어차피 뭐 금승석도 할 겸 그리고 제가 사실 아이테르가 필요해요. 아이테르도 필요하고 해서 겸사겸사 제가 구도자 아이테르 육성작 해주려면 아이테르가 하나 더 필요하거든요. 겸사겸사 하겠습니다. 겸사겸사. 칼라드라 좋은 아티죠. 평소에 잘 주잖아 아이테르. 하하, 결국
어때요? 리카노님, 손님, 아니, 방문자가 왔어.
칼바트님 안녕하세요. 이거는 제가 이제는 유피니를 가지고 뽑는 게 아니라 제가 아이테르 구도자 아이테르를 육성작 시켜줘야 되는데 아이테르가 부족해가지고 아이테르 삼성 걔 뽑으려고 뽑고 있습니다.
만물의 도서관에 온 것을 환영하노라.
지금 아티만 2개 먹었어요. 나왔네요. 사실 아이테르가 나왔으니까 이제 멈춰도 되는데 그래도 뭐 이왕 책갈피를 샀으니까 제가 꼭 막 갖고 싶다거나 이런 마음이 간절해서 그런 건 아니고요. 이것까지만 뽑는 거로 합리화를 해봅니다. 잠깐 50번 남았는데 하늘석이 되죠? 이것이 정말 유핀을 위해 이럴 건 아닌데.
새로운 인연을 소중히 여기거라.
영리를 못 먹었으니까 얘라도 먹어야겠어요. 아띠 2개 나온 김에 그냥 한두 개 더 나왔으면 좋겠다. 확정도한 전까지. 아띠? 참천의 도끼라도 나오지죠. 참천의 도끼가 이럴 때 정작 필요할 때 안 나와주네. 알렌시아 껴주게. 참천의 도끼라도 줘봐 친구야. 진짜 오늘 하늘석 다 써야 되나? 제발. 세안돼. 좋습니다. 아니야. 됐어. 됐어. 봅시다, 이제.